Every journey of growth starts the same way: quiet, hidden, unseen. Long before fruit appears, something is happening underground. Roots are forming, seeds are breaking open. Life is taking shape where no one can see it. Rooted, it's more than a series. It's a journey of recovery, faith, and transformation. It's about what God grows in you. So He can grow something through you, through me. Because real change doesn't start with what people see. It starts with what God is doing in the hidden places. Let me welcome you to Studio RC, an encouragement for your recovery and your faith. My name is Max, and I am an alcoholic, and I'm sober today only by the grace of God and the fellowship of the program. I am also a follower of Jesus. We're going to enter this new series, Rooted, and it'll get us ready for our upcoming conference. The first phase of our podcast will talk about the foundation. In phase one, we go underground, the foundation. This is where the unseen work is done. We ask questions like, who am I really rooted in? Where does my hope begin? Am I willing to surrender before I see results? Rooted matters. Seeds of hope matter. Germination, where commitment begins, matters. This is where faith is planted. This is where recovery becomes real. Real recovery starts where no one sees it. And that brings us to phase two of breakthrough. In phase two, growth becomes visible. That's where breakthrough begins. We learn what it means to be supported, to grow in faith, to strengthen what's been planted, breaking through the soil, strengthening the roots, pulling the weeds when necessary, because growth requires pruning, truth, protection. And this is where healing becomes real and faith becomes strong enough to hold what God is growing. And that leads us to our final phase of maturity. This is where, in phase three, maturity takes shape. This is where purpose multiplies. This is where our lives become, they start to intersect. This is where fruit is visible. This is where we're able to weather the storm, bear fruit, plant new seeds. Because rooted people don't keep growth to themselves. They give it away. They mentor. They sponsor. They serve. They plant hope in others. This journey leads us to something bigger. It's not just a conference, a community, a movement, a gathering of people who are growing to live rooted. The Rooted Conference is where we will come together at the Recovery Church Movement Conference in Bradenton in the last weekend in March of 2026. We're going to attempt over these next weeks not only to prepare, but to strengthen our roots, to celebrate our growth, to acknowledge what season we are in. And so we're going to learn how to stay planted, stay connected, and stay rooted. We welcome you to Rooted, a journey of recovery that's going to prepare you for the conference, the upcoming conference. And just know, whether you attend the conference or not, this might be a good time to go check and try to get what remaining availability and tickets to the conference that you can. But just know we're rooting for you. And this leads us in to this week's episode. Episode 9, Deep Roots and Root Rot. Um, we clearly want the deep roots, strengthening our faith foundation and dealing with those hidden threats. Our thought for this episode is we want to look at long-term recovery and how that requires ongoing connection, honesty, and then a little bit of root maintenance. So, as we begin episode 9, we've walked this journey of being rooted together. We're now just outside of the conference, so hopefully many of you attended the conference. Hopefully this series prepared you. If not, hopefully it encouraged you in your faith and recovery walk. But we've looked at our roots and our identity. We looked at the seed, which has hope. We looked at the germination, which is about our commitment. We looked at the seedling coming out through the ground and the support and protection that requires. We talked about growth through faith and strength. We talked about flowering and finding our purpose. We talked about pollination, connection, multiplication. And last episode, we talked about fruit, that visible evidence of what God is doing in the unseen. And now we talk about something a lot of times people don't even think about until it's too late. Longevity, maybe even legacy. Growth is not the same as longevity. Some plants grow quickly and they still die young. Others grow slowly but last for decades. The difference is almost always the root health, the health of the roots. Here's what often happens. People, other people, not us, other people relax too early. Okay, so sometimes we relax too early. We see fruit and we assume the roots are secure. Long-term recovery. It isn't about excitement. It's about maintenance, daily maintenance of our spiritual connection. Mature recovery is not dramatic. It's disciplined. And this isn't paranoia, it's stewardship. It's peace. It's not looking for chaos. Our scripture for this episode comes from John 15, verses 4 and 5. Remain in me, so I also remain in you. This is Jesus talking. No branches can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine. You are the branches. If you remain in me, and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Abide in me. Apart from me, we can do nothing. Abide. It means remain, stay, dwell. Not visit occasionally, not sample a little bit, not check in when you feel like it. Doesn't mean it doesn't mean not reconnecting when things get bad. Remain. Jesus is describing this continuous dependence. The branch has no independent life. Everything it receives flows from connection to the vine. Fruit flows from connection, not from effort. And this is the subtle danger for us. Separation is gradual before it's ever destructive. Drift feels small, but distance compounds. Daily connection is spiritual oxygen, abiding in relationships, not rituals. Branches don't produce fruit by trying harder. They produce fruit by staying connected to the source of life. If you cut the branch off, it may look fine for a little while. Leaves may even stay green, but eventually nutrients stop flowing. Moisture dries up. Fruit production stops. The separation is invisible before it becomes fatal. The same is true spiritually. We have that separation. It's a little invisible. It's the cutting the corners. It's the not, doing everything. That subtle drift. And all of those things happen before it becomes fatal, before there's a relapse, before picking up, before any of the struggles. Drift rarely feels dramatic. It feels small, like missing a prayer here, skipping a meeting there, letting resentment linger for a little bit, avoiding hard conversations. But distance compounds, it grows, it gets more. Eventually, what looked like a small drift becomes spiritual disconnection. We ask the question, I felt close to God, where has God gone? And the question is really, who has moved? It's always us. We are reminded in the big book what we have is that daily reprieve from our alcoholism, from our addiction, contingent on our spiritual maintenance, our spiritual maintenance, maintaining that every day, daily. Daily connection is spiritual oxygen. Abiding is about relationship, not the ritual of going through that we need that oxygen in us. Keep that connection. Keep that oxygen. Which leads us to the thought of how we need to continue progress over perfection. That's been quoted more than just once in this series. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. That line protects us from two different dangers. First, perfectionism. Perfectionism pretends everything is fine. We're good. There's nothing to see here. And pretending hides rot. It hides when we're creating that distance and that drift. We're fine. There's nothing to see. The other thing that it protects us from is shame. Shame convinces us that struggle disqualifies us. Shame hides problems until they spread. Recovery teaches us something healthier. Honest monitoring. The 10th step, we took daily inventory. And when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Not obsessing, not pretending, but monitoring. Same way a gardener checks soil health. Our goal is not to be flawless. Our goal is awareness. Spiritual progress means daily correction, not daily repair. So we need to give ourselves a little grace on that front. Now, we've talked about how important it is for our roots to go deep, but what does root rot look like? That's hard to say. Root rot. Ooh, yeah, it's a tongue twister if you keep saying it. But root rot, our roots getting rotten, that spreads underground where it's unseen. We've talked about God doing things and growth happening underground, but that root rot happens underground too. We don't see it immediately. And root rot is a real problem. It happens when soil conditions allows funguses or bacteria to attack the root. The plant above ground may still look healthy for a while, but underground something destructive is spreading. There's nothing to see here. I still got leaves. I'm still good. Eventually, though, the leaves yellow. Growth slows. Fruit disappears. Same pattern happens for us spiritually. Root rot grows in silence. Some common signs for us is those quiet resentments, those secret struggles, pride, isolation, spiritual dryness, emotional numbness, skipping meetings, rationalizing behavior. None of these looks catastrophic at first, but left alone, they weaken the root system. Outward success can mask inward decay, because sometimes our success is outpacing what's happening inside, but eventually it catches up. You can look stable while something unhealthy is spreading below. Rot grows in silence. Early detection of this rot, it matters, because prevention always beats repair. It's always better to admit when you're wrong right away than having to do it later on, especially if you're forced to rather than you choose to. Prevention better than repair. There's a dangerous illusion. And one of the most dangerous moments in recovery is when we have outward success with inward neglect. You can look stable, you can be serving, you can be helping others, and still have something unhealthy spreading beneath the surface. That's a challenge. When you check what's going on in your life, that daily inventory, are you taking a look at all the things? There are seasons where everything often looks fine on the outside. We're functioning, we're helping others, we're leading, but internally, something's shifted. Maybe our resentments are building. Prayer life is thinning out a little bit. Patience is shrinking. Something feels off. Eventually, we have to stop and ask an honest question. What's going on in my roots? What's going on in my soul? What's going on underneath? The turning point comes with honesty, confession, conversation, course correction, relief, ultimately restoration. Letting someone see what's happening beneath the surface is important. And what follows is relief. I mean, if you think about the fifth step inventory sharing with somebody, a sponsor or whoever you choose to share with, often there is great relief. Not embarrassment, restoration. Because exposure allows healing. Exposure is not humiliation. It's treatment. It helps us to grow and grow stronger. One of the things we want to do with our roots, with our base, with our soul, is we want to maintain it. We want to do what we can to maintain it. Long-term health requires structure. Daily, weekly, ongoing. Daily things like prayer, scripture, surrendering, gratitude. Daily connection keeps the root system hydrated. Weekly, we want to make sure we're going to our meetings. We go to church, our recovery church, and we do these honest check-ins. Roots grows deeper in shared soils. It is important throughout the week to be connecting and being a part of a fellowship and something that's bigger than ourselves. And then we have our ongoing inventory in 10 and 11 with our prayer meditation, with our personal inventory. We continue to admit when we're wrong, confess those things. We have accountability. We have sponsorship or discipleship, mentorship, a leading, a person in our lives who are helping us. Maintenance in our lives is maturity. It's not crisis management. Healthy roots are intentional. You don't just drift into strength. You drift away from it. Here's some questions to consider in regards to this concept. Where might rot be trying to hide in your life, in my life, our life? Is there rot? Who knows the real condition of our roots? Is there someone in your life who knows the true condition of your roots? Hopefully, there's at least one, if not a couple of inner circle people that know the real condition of your roots. And it's not even necessarily their responsibility to help cut out the root rot but like that there are people that know and ideally will hold you accountable, will encourage you, will try to point to solutions. We need that in our lives. We need others. What habits have we let slide? Have we been a little looser on? A little more grace-filled when maybe we shouldn't necessarily extend grace in this area? What resentments need sunlight? Sunlight to come in and just, expose them, show them, minimize them, choke them out maybe. We ask God, search my roots and restore what's unhealthy. Ooh, that's a prayer. Are you ready for that prayer? Search my roots and restore what's unhealthy. As we have strengthened the soil, many have gathered for the conference in Bradenton. Hopefully it's strengthened, renewed soil. It helped bring about collective honesty. It maybe even brought some pruning and recommitment to your purpose and cause. We ideally don't attend a conference, especially for Recovery Church, to impress one another. We attend to be strengthened. We attend to connect, which the conference does a great job of doing. Strong roots grow in shared soil. Let's share the soil of this journey. Recovery, it's a lifetime garden. Growth requires attention. God is faithful to sustain what you tend to. So, Studio RC family, as we have traversed through this rooted journey, next week we're going to do a recap, but this is the last new topic. But the work doesn't end here of what God is doing. Deep roots are built over a lifetime. They grow daily, abiding, through honest inventory, through humble connection. And we hope that this series from Studio RC has strengthened your roots, has helped you to clear out anything that doesn't belong, or at least identified it so that maybe you can clear it out. It's helped us to recommit to staying connected to the vine, to the one that is life-giving, the one that provides us with everything we need. Hopefully, we can together stay rooted, stay honest, stay growing. And as always, just know we, the Recovery Church movement, the Recovery Church staff, all the various campuses, we're rooting for you. God bless. Studio RC family, thank you for walking this rooted journey with us today. What God is growing in you matters, and it is meant to last. Whether you're just getting started or you've been walking this road for years, remember, growth happens one day at a time. Keep showing up. Keep staying connected. Keep letting God do his deep work in you and through you. If this episode encouraged you, helped you, or just gave you some hope, we'd love for you to help spread the word of Studio RC. Like the video, share it with someone who could use the encouragement, subscribe so you don't ever miss an episode. We want to continue to increase our footprint, not just for views, but so that we can encourage and help people in their recovery and their faith. You never know how God might use a simple share or even like to plant a seed of hope in someone else. And if you're looking for deeper connection, we'd love to see you at the Rooted Conference, the Recovery Church Movement Rooted Conference in March 27th, 28th, 29th in Bradenton, Florida at the Christian Retreat Conference Center. It's going to be a place to strengthen your roots, to celebrate your growth, to walk this journey together. We'd love to see you there, and we'd love to continue this journey together. So just remember, Recovery Church, 12 steps, one goal. And with this series, remember, stay planted, stay connected, stay rooted, and know that we are rooting for you. God bless, and we'll see you next time here at Studio RC.